Alright, I have a ring that I already have ground and a ring that's right out of the box. So you can see here, this ring, this one was a tiny little bit smaller than the previous one, which is not a problem. They're filed to fit, which is what you want. You want them tighter so you can take material off. So this one was actually 12. The one I put in before was 14 barely fit in it. It may have been a little bit smaller than 14, but this one 12 thousandths fits in it. So what we want to do is we want to go up to 21 thousandths. I might even go 22. I don't know. So 21 fits in the next one. So if you can see, pull this one out. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the ring is completely square in the cylinder. That'll make a change it a lot. So what I did is I took the piston and I pushed it down a little bit with a piston, and then once I did that, a friend of mine, Jerry Paterka, told me just take a socket and run the socket all the way around the top. That'll show that you're perfectly square in the cylinder, because you do have some piston to wall clearance, and even if you use the piston, if you push it all the way, the piston all the way down in, then you know it's square. But if you just run a socket around the top, or another object that's smooth, that's not going to scrape everything all up, you can set it. So I filed this with my ring filer, and as you can see, we got 21 thousandths clearance. What you want to do is take all of your rings and lay all of your rings out on the table. Keep them in order so things don't get mixed up. I laid each of the rings out. So cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4. What you want to do is you want to keep the piston with the same as well, so everything's consistent. Then you get all your rings filed, and then you take each piston and put all your rings on for that specific one, then match that to the rod that you have marked already as well. So we got one done. What I'm going to do is show you the next one. This is for cylinder 2. This is the setup I have here. This is a Proform ring filer. So what you want to do is you always want to keep the ring in a position where you file this one end. Don't file both ends. One end's already finished, so you don't want to be filing back and forth. Why would you do that? You always want to stay on one side, leave one factory edge, which is perfectly square, perfectly deburred, and good. So another thing that's critical is you always want to make sure that you turn the handle. If you have a manual one like I do, I'm not rich, so I'm a powered one, but anyway, you always want to make sure you turn it away so it spins away from the chrome ring face. If you look at the chrome ring face here, if you go this way with the handle, if you're cranking it that way, you have a possibility of grabbing the chrome and pulling the chrome, chipping the chrome off the ring. Then the ring's junk. You're gonna have to throw it in the garbage. So take it, line the ring up to the dowel pins, put a little bit of pressure, not much, just a little bit, and take a little bit of material off. Very little. Then take that ring, put it back in your bore like I just showed you. Use your piston to get it close to square in the socket to get it perfectly even all the way around. Then go with your feeler gauge and check your clearance. You want to do this in very small stages. It's very easy to take too much material off. You take too much material off, now you're buying new rings again and you're starting all over. So that's the process of doing it. You want to do that with all of your rings. I recommend laying them all out, doing all your top rings, then go through and doing all your second rings, then do all your oil rings, because this is tool steel. The other ones are cast or nodular. I'm not sure if they're nodular iron or cast iron, but they have different density of material, so they're gonna grind at a different rate. So do all your top ones, they're gonna grind consistent. Then do your next one, do your cast rings, your second compression ring. That's gonna take material's gonna come off that a little bit easier because it's less dense, it's not as hard. So you want to do those next. And then 1 through 4 oil rings. Then once you're done, when you file these on the back edge, you're gonna have a little burr, maybe even on the bottom too, because you see how this is going. You're grinding in a direction like that. So you want to go with a stone, 200 grit stone or something, and just make sure those edges are flat. Always file or grind away from the ring face. You don't want the burrs out here. You want a clean edge. That's your sealing edge. So that's how you file fit a set of rings. All of your rings have markings on them. The markings always go up. As always, have fun, stay safe.